there, champions. Welcome back to another Read Aloud. We are still reading Tales from Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. We're on Chapter 5 called The Birthday Bash, and this is part 2 of that chapter. Grandma got them seated around the kitchen table. She put a party hat on each kid's head. Sam screamed, "Get it off! Get it off!" But the other kids wore their hats and didn't complain. My mother snapped a picture of them with her new camera. Then Grandma turned off the lights and my mother lit the candles on Fudge's cake. It had chocolate frosting and big yellow roses. I led the singing of Happy Birthday. My mother carried the cake across the kitchen to the party table and set it down in front of Fudge. Sam cried, "Too dark, too dark." So Grandma had to turn on the kitchen lights before Fudge blew out his candles. When he was finished blowing, he reached out and grabbed a rose off his cake. He shoved it into his mouth. "Oh, Fudge," my mother said, "look at what you did." But Grandma said, "It's his birthday. He can do whatever he wants." So Fudge reached over and grabbed a second rose. I guess Fat Ralph couldn't stand seeing Fudge eat those yellow roses because he grabbed one too. By that time, the cake looked pretty messy. My mother, finally coming to her senses, took the cake away and sliced it up. Each kid got a Dixie cup, a small piece of cake, and some milk. But Jenny hollered, "Where's my rose? Want one too?" Because her slice of birthday cake didn't happen to have one. My mother explained that the roses were only decorations and there weren't enough to go around. Jenny seemed to accept that. But when Grandma stood over her to help open her Dixie, Jenny bit her on the hand. "She bit me!" Grandma cried. "Did it break the skin?" my mother asked. "No, I don't think so," Grandma said, checking. "Good, then it's nothing to worry about," my mother told her. Grandma went into the bathroom to put some medicine on it anyway. She wasn't taking any chances. Ralph was the first one to finish his food. "More, more, more," he sang, holding up his empty plate. "I don't think you should give him any more," I whispered to my mother. "Look how fat he is now." "Oh, Peter, this is a party. Let him eat whatever he wants." "Okay," I said. "Why should I care how fat he gets?" I don't think that's very nice. My mother served Ralph a second piece of cake. He threw up right after he finished it. Me and Grandma took the kids into the living room while my mother cleaned up the mess. Grandma told Fudge he could open his presents while his friends watched. Jenny brought him a musical Jack-in-the-Box. When you turn the handle around, it plays Pop Goes the Weasel. When you reach the part of the song about Pop, the top opens and a funny clown jumps up. Fudge loved it. He clapped his hands and laughed, but Sam started to scream, "No, no more, take it away!" He hid his face in his hands and wouldn't look up until Grandma promised to put the Jack-in-the-Box in another room. Fudge opened Ralph's present next. It was a little wind-up car that ran all over the floor. I kind of liked it myself. So did Ralph. Because he grabbed it away from Fudge and said, "Mine." "No," Fudge shouted. "Mine." When my mother heard the racket, she ran in from the kitchen. She explained to Ralph that he had brought the car to Fudge because it was his birthday. But Ralph wouldn't listen. I guess my mother was afraid he might throw up again. So this time on the living room rug. So she begged Fudge to let Ralph play with the car for a few minutes. But Ralph kept screaming that it was his car. So Fudge started to cry. Finally, my mom took the car away and said, "Let's see what Sam brought you." Fudge liked that idea. He forgot all about the little car as he ripped the paper and ribbon off of Sam's package. It turned out to be a big picture dictionary, the same kind the Yarbies bought me a couple of months ago. Fudge got mad when he saw it. "No!" he yelled. "No more book!" He threw it across the room. "Fudge, that's terrible," my mother said. "You mustn't do that to the nice book." "No book," Fudge said. Sam cried. "He doesn't like it. He doesn't like my present. I want to go home. I want to go home." Grandma tried to comfort Sam while my mother picked up the book. She gathered the wrapping paper and ribbons and card together. Fudge didn't even look at any of the birthday cards. Oh, well, he can't read, so I guess it doesn't make any difference. I'm going to stop there and we'll see what happens next. It's interesting. I can picture all that happening. I hope as I'm reading, you're picturing it in your head. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful night. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. And good night.